Tootsie Rolls hold such a significance to the United States Marine Corps? I'm Sarah, the History Chick 1941, and let's dig into this sweet treat of a story today. In November and December of 1950, we found ourselves in the middle of the Battle of the Chosen Reservoir. The 1st Marine Division found themselves outnumbered, outgunned, undersupplied, and facing off over 120,000 enemy troops in sub-freezing temperatures. The Marines were running low on 60mm mortars, which were very useful at the Chosen Reservoir for their high-arching firepower to hit those ridgelines where the Chinese were dug in. So they radioed in a supply drop for those 60mm mortars. And their code name was Tootsie Rolls. The Air Force radio operator did not have the Marines' code sheet. So when he heard Tootsie Rolls, he thought of these Tootsie Rolls and not these Tootsie Rolls. So the order went out to the Air Force Combat Cargo Command in Japan, and soon they were loading their C-119 flying boxcars with pallets of the sweet, sweet treat of Tootsie Rolls. The 1st Marine Division at Chosen saw the supply drop, and when they opened the cargo, they were extremely bewildered that they were staring at pallets full of a sweet treat known as Tootsie Rolls instead of 60mm mortar ammo. The Tootsie Rolls actually ended up being a godsend to the Marines. With their sea rations frozen over at Chosen, they discovered that if you warm them up in your little pitty pits, pop them in your mouth, get a little bit of nourishment, keep the hunger off, and give you a dose of energy. But then they also discovered this brilliant design for the Tootsie Rolls. At that point, the Marines had been under heavy attack. Their vehicles and equipment were riddled with bullet holes and deemed useless without repairs. The Marines discovered that if you warmed up a Tootsie Roll really well, it plugged bullet holes in fuel tanks and radiators and anything else you needed. And the 30 below zero temperatures froze that Tootsie Roll over and sealed it up. A nice handy-dandy fix to get things rolling again. Now, some people don't believe the whole 60mm mortar Tootsie Roll supply drop, but there are many Marine veterans who remember the superabundance of Tootsie Rolls during the Korean War. And that is true. So why was there a superabundance of Tootsie Rolls during the Korean War? Well, in World War II, Tootsie Rolls were marketed towards adults as an energy food, and the military gobbled that up and started adding them to their rations because also Tootsie Rolls didn't melt in the heat. Another reason for the abundance is during the Chosen Reservoir, the Marines at Hageroo-Ri were actually planning to set up a base there, which included a PX. And the military kept sending Tootsie Rolls for them to sell at the PX. Well, they ended up having to evacuate Hageroo, and they could only load the most valuable things on the truck, which means the Tootsie Rolls had to get left behind. But they got orders to distribute the Tootsie Rolls for free and distributed over $13,500 worth of Tootsie Rolls to the Marines. The Marines had an abundance of Tootsie Rolls during the Korean War, and a majority of them had a huge disdain for Tootsie Rolls after the Korean War. So while they weren't the 60mm mortar ammo the Marines needed at Chosen, they definitely were thankful for the Tootsie Rolls that rained from the sky to help them with their hunger and nourishment, help them fix leaky radiators so they could fix their vehicles, get their comrades, fight through the enemy line, and retreat to safety. So Tootsie Rolls help save the day.